Great series? There are some stumbles, but I think by and large you're safe in saying that. A trilogy that includes one of the best games of the decade? I'd take up that fight. The most significant speculative setting of the modern day? Now that's a spicy meatball that I would love to sink my teeth into. But the thing I don't think anyone would deny is that it features a beloved cast stacked with all-timers. I mean, there are absolute legends like the forward-thinking space turtle Erdnot Rex.
Speak when spoken to, Uvenk. I'll drag your clan to glory whether it likes it or not.
The best alien bestie or boyfriend anyone could ask for in Garrus Vakarian.
I'm Garrus Vakarian, and this is now my favorite spot on the Citadel.
And Professor Morden Solus, a character so great he actively resists a pithy summation.
Hell, I had to talk you into saving Malin's data. How can you change your mind now?
I made a mistake! I made a mistake.
And there are a lot of less frequently cited characters too. I'm especially fond of Miranda's icy demeanor and impeccable timing.
You really think Wilson's capable of that?
Not anymore.
As well as Thane's vivid, intricate faith.
I apologize, but prayers for the wicked must not be forsaken.
And who doesn't love Tally? Monsters.
Torian brandy, triple filtered, then introduced into the suit through an emergency induction port.
That's a straw, Tally.
Emergency induction port.
And praise is not just limited to party members, after all. This is the series of the Elusive Man.
Strength for Cerberus is strength for every human. Cerberus is humanity.
And Arya Talok.
How did you get the captain to say that?
The hard way.
And the Krogan female shaman who may be Erdnot Bakara.
Every acolyte is given a chance. You either claw your way out through the rock with your bare hands, or you die.
It's a brutal initiation.
But an illuminating one. You learn to appreciate the light by living in the dark.
Awesome, all of them. Even James Vega, a character we all expected the worst of because he looks like this and was voiced by a former teen idol, turned out to be pretty compelling and well done. But if you've been around a Mass Effect fan, or perhaps worse, stuck between two, you've heard all this before, so I'm not going to gush over these great characters. I want to talk about the one who sucks. Ashley Ash Williams. Unlike her namesake, Mass Effect Ash is terrible, clearly the worst. There's a good chance this isn't news to you either. In fact, I bet you know how this conversation usually goes. Someone says, Ash is the worst. And someone else says, well, if you do all her conversations, she gets pretty good. She becomes less space racist. Ash's most well-known trait is that she's space racist, a sort of glib way to put it, and also a little inaccurate. She's better understood as bigoted, prejudiced, and xenophobic, but either way, not endearing traits to thinking people, and certainly not to me. But it's also a trait that acts as a lightning rod in a very literal way. It attracts and deflects. It's clearly Ash's largest and most easily graspable flaw, and thus many don't notice her many other flaws. And they are many. Ash is terrible. And in being terrible, pretty great.
Commander, you have a minute to talk?
Is this duty-related, Chief?
No, sir. Well, maybe.
This is the first major conversation with Ash, but she's been in your party for a while. She's not initially part of the SSV Normandy crew. She's a Marine, a gunnery chief in the 2nd Frontier Division protecting the colony world Eden Prime. With a name like that, you kinda know what to expect. The Normandy is sent there on a test flight, which turns out to be a cover for a decidedly more delicate mission. There is a surprise attack by the Geth, who...
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years.
Which leaves Ash the sole survivor of her unit. As witness to the attack, Captain Anderson has her reassigned to the Normandy when Shepard has to meet with the Citadel Council. Shepard can object, but since it's Anderson's call, Ash is aboard. By the time of this conversation, Shepard has been to the Citadel, gotten up to some shenanigans, made some cool alien friends, become a Council Spectre, and is off on a mission to uncover what rogue Spectre Saren Arturius is up to.
I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vakarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
Don't mince words, Chief. What's your concern?
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems.
And there it is, right out of the gate, the xenophobia. We should talk about Shepard, though. Shepard is a character shaped by your choices and actions, but there are a few things that are true of any Shepard. They are always a highly decorated Special Forces Marine in the Alliance Navy. They're always a veteran of a campaign called the Skillian Blitz in some manner, and they always start as the XO of the Normandy under Captain Anderson. I found evidence of no less than 7 Shepards I've made over the years, but we'll be focusing on the experiences of my primary Shepard, Richter Shepard, who is male and an infiltrator and uses the default model because honestly it looks pretty good. He does basically what I think I'd do or what John Crichton Astronaut would do, and Richter Shepard isn't unsympathetic to Ash's experience on Eden Prime. He was also the sole survivor of his unit when they were attacked by creatures called Thresher Maws on Akuz. People often bring this up with a really dark demeanor, like it made Shepard unkillable but at a horrible cost. He knows what it's like to be the only person to walk away. But that wouldn't excuse the critical error in Ash's concern here, which is, well, you see, Chief, I checked all the logs, I checked the flight manifest, I checked the duty roster, I went cabin to cabin even, and I couldn't find this we of whom you speak. There doesn't appear to be a we on this ship, Gunnery Chief.
That's enough, Chief. You always second-guess your superiors?
Sir! No, sir!
2 more things about Shepard. Shepard is always N7. In the Alliance, Special Forces candidates attend N school, and if they pass the first course, they are N1. If they don't pass, no big deal. Apparently the first course is so rigorous, there's no shame in not passing. There are 5 further courses, each with their own code to earn up to N6. Shepard is N7 because they passed all courses in an admirable and effective fashion. They are the elite of the elite, and here he is being contradicted by someone whose posting was to babysit farmlands? But there's also the matter of how the Shepard sees himself, as sort of a diplomat and emissary. He's been given the chance to show that humankind is ready to take a prominent role in the galaxy, and that we aren't a bunch of small-minded goons. And here's this small-minded goon trying to rope him into her small-minded goonetry, the exact opposite of his goals and intentions. One last thing, Ash rightly calls the Normandy the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy, and that's the case. Because the Alliance didn't develop it alone, it was co-developed with assistance from the Turian hierarchy. Garrus's people helped build the thing, so they already know all about it. So there's far more going on here with Ash than just space racism. This is just Richter Shepard's read, but she seems xenophobic, paranoid, presumptuous, insubordinate, and someone who, wittingly or not, could very well be a hindrance to his goal and intentions. And Richter Shepard is not going to respond to appeals to human solidarity or whatever either. He was born on Earth, orphaned, and grew up in a street gang before enlisting as soon as he reached the age. The Alliance was the means by which he got out from under what the worst of human society had to offer, and see how other people in the galaxy lived. And he kinda likes what he finds out there. When a member of his old gang seeks him out to try to strong-arm a favor, threatening his image in the galaxy, it turns out
the Spectre has overcome a troubled youth to lead a proud military career. The Turians would not care about such things, and I doubt your lies would fool the Solarians or the Asari.
Which isn't to say Richter Shepard doesn't care about humanity, just that when the representatives of the human-first mentality say we should be able to do things the human way, he has a lot of reason to say, fucking why? Ash didn't have such an upbringing. By her own admission, she's a military brat with a long heritage of service. She and her large family moved from base to base, station to station, wherever her father got posted. But she further reveals that her father didn't have a very distinguished career. He struggled to make any sort of rank at all, even though, as Ash describes it, he was always away on duty. He was overwhelmed when Ash made the notable but rather modest rank of Gunnery Chief, one step above enlisted. All this is curious. There's also this bit, which seems like a non sequitur, but I find conceptually fascinating. Ash tells this pretty simple story about how her sister was having trouble with a guy she dated, so Ash goes on leave and comes home to deal with this. But when she and the sister encounter the guy, the sister handles it herself, knocking the guy out with one punch. So Ash needs to be there to witness this story so she can tell you about it. That's the meta reason she's there. Without it, she'd just be relaying this email chain she got. But the effect on her character is a bit different. She inserted herself into this drama rashly and without much need. This is also curious. It's almost like she has something to prove. Ash's grandfather is General Williams. Sorry, not even the wiki offers up a first name, but he holds a very significant place in Alliance history. and not a very esteemed one. It's a little involved, but long story short, humanity's first contact with sentient alien life happened to be the Turians, and it didn't go well. The Alliance calls it the First Contact War, in which the colony of Shang-Chi was occupied and then liberated, and Ash's grandfather was in charge when the former happened. Upon liberation, he was disgraced, arrested, drummed out of the service, and spent the rest of his days working construction jobs in far-off colonies. It seems like he got a pretty raw deal, and his family sure did. His reputation is why both Ash and her father struggled to advance, or at least it's a reason. Beyond that, Ash just seems dumb. Not unintelligent, but she does act like a goon. She's very unthinking. Most of her chatter is about shooting and violence and kicking ass. Oh, and there's also this.
What's our next move, Commander? Head for the Mu Relay?
The Mu Relay could link to dozens of systems. Unless we know exactly where Saren's going, we'd just be wasting our time.
The Commander is right. We cannot rush off blind. We still need to learn more about Saren.
Who put you in charge? Did the Commander resign when I wasn't looking?
Like, goddammit, Ash, what are you even on about here? I'd already given the orders. But this is very much Ash in a nutshell. Presumptuous, rash, exhibiting poor judgment. It sure looks like she targeted and then went after the person on board she perceives as having the lowest social standing in an effort to regain face after she made a poor suggestion. She berates herself over the loss of her unit, saying she just should have been more alert, and at first, Shepard understood that as survivor's guilt. But the longer she's around, the less he's sure of that. And then comes Vermeer. The Council let Shepard know that a Solarian recon team tried to send a message from the planet Vermeer, but all that got out was that they'd tried to send a message. When he arrives, the remnants of the team inform him they've discovered that Saren has a facility on the planet where he has people studying mind control and cloning an army of Krogan, while also curing the genophage, which...
The genophage bioweapon was created to end the Krogan rebellions. The resulting mutation made only 1 in 1,000 Krogan pregnancies carry to term, reducing offspring viability rather than fertility.
This is something Rex really wants, and things get tense for a bit. This doesn't apply to Richter Shepard's story, but it's possible in some alternate reality that Rex can die here. That can happen a few ways, but one of them is Ash shoots him in the back mid-conversation. Then you hit the options button, go to load, and try again because no one wants this to happen. Like I said, doesn't apply to Richter Shepard, I just thought I'd mention it. Back in the Prime universe, while Shepard was reaching detente with Rex, the Solarian Captain Kirrahe was formulating the plan of attack, where his team will provide a distraction and take out the AA guns, allowing Shepard to sneak in the back and secure a spot where they can drop off an improvised nuke. So yeah, things are pretty desperate. Someone needs to handle the bomb, but Kirrahe's team has been pretty hammered, they could use some help. And someone needs to communicate between the two teams anyway. It's up to Shepard to decide which Alliance character goes where. We should talk briefly about Kaidan Alenko. Kaidan's certainly not my favorite, but I do think his reputation suffers a bit from the fact that he isn't flashy like other party members. What he is reliable, professional, competent. He's there to do his job, and what is that job? Whatever you ask, sir. He's actually your first party member, having been assigned to the Normandy from the game's outset, so he's not Shepard-level elite, but he's elite enough to be assigned to the most advanced ship in the fleet. He's a thinker, someone who casts an eye toward the big picture. Kaidan is the good soldier. So, who should Shepard send off to coordinate with the team of super spies representing a society we'd really like to impress?
Alenko, you're with the captain. Keep it simple, understood?
Aye, aye, Commander.
Fatefully, Shepard sends Kaidan with one of Kirrahe's teams while Ash tends to the bomb. Things go as smoothly as they can at first. Expected resistance, no sign of Saren, all that jazz. The AA cannons are disabled, the bomb is in place, all that's left to do is get the hell out. But Kaidan and the team he is with is pinned down. Shepard heads off to assist them, confident that whatever doubts he has about Ash's judgment, she can surely be trusted to stand next to a bomb without too much difficulty. Things don't go as planned.
Chief, we just spotted a troop ship inbound to your location.
It's already here, and is bleeding Geth all over the bomb site.
Can you hold them off?
There's too many! I don't think we can hold them! I'm activating the nuke!
What the hell are you doing, Williams?
Making sure this bomb goes off, no matter what. It's done, Commander. Go get the lieutenant and get the hell out of here!
Belay that. We can handle ourselves. Go back and get Williams.
This is a big choice moment, the sort of thing the series is both famous and infamous for. Who to save? If you know what happens, it's a pretty simple choice between two options. But Richter Shepard doesn't know what happens, and at the time, I didn't either. What we both knew is that something is up at the bomb, the entire point of the mission, and we may need to resolve it or all this effort will be pointless.
Williams, radio Joker and tell him to meet us at the bomb site.
Yes, Commander,
Kaidan assures him it's the right decision, but the Shepard will always wonder why he had to make it. Was the bomb site about to be utterly overrun? Did Ash make the correct choice after a frank and honest read of the situation? Or did Ash rashly decide to set the bomb because a grand act such as that may remove the smear from her family name? He'll never know, but he'll be certain he can't trust Ash. And the time he did, someone got killed. I should note that Kaidan could have also been at the bomb site, and he will also set off the bomb when the Geth arrive, but, well, I already explained, Kaidan is the good soldier. He's exhibited a level of trust and competence that give my Shepards less reason to doubt and question when he makes the same decision. Shepard's a class act, so he doesn't berate Ashley for activating a fucking nuclear bomb without the order to do so, even though I really wish he could. But for the rest of Mass Effect 1, she doesn't leave the Normandy much. And then Mass Effect 2 takes care of that issue. Ash really only has one scene in Mass Effect 2. In the opening moments, a mysterious alien attack destroys the Normandy and kills Shepard. The extremely shady group Cerberus spends 2 years and a lot of money unkilling him, and during that time, the crew moves on, including Ash, who, thanks to being adjacent to Shepard's exploits, is able to progress in rank. Cerberus Honcho the Elusive Man calls her file
surprisingly well classified.
Like, does he know? Anyway, Cerberus are very minor antagonists in the first game, showing up in about 3 quests total, including Shepard's encounter on Akuz. They're a terrorist group probably best understood as, like, the future CIA, and Shepard is not happy about working with them. He's been press-ganged into this Bond villain's master scheme, sure he could get betrayed at any moment, and he's taken steps to screw the Elusive Man first. But until then, human colonies are disappearing, and he's going to use Cerberus to put a stop to it, because the Alliance is doing nothing to help people. Well, almost nothing. So check this exchange out.
Still can't calibrate the targeting matrix?
Those defense towers are useless if we don't figure it out.
Sorry, Chief. Getting our comm systems back online takes priority.
Yeah. Okay. Surprised people haven't tried to blame that one on me, too.
Ash was sent to this colony to get the defensive cannons working. Anyway, Ash doesn't fare well when the Collectors arrive, and we shouldn't really hold that against her because what else was she gonna do? Oh. Well, luckily Shepard arrives in time to fix the cannons and drive off the Collectors before they can take everyone, Ash included. She isn't happy to learn that Shepard is, as the rumors say, working with Cerberus, but I'm not going to ding her over this. Shepard isn't happy about it either. But she sort of is a dumbass in her objections. She talks about loyalty to the Alliance even though Shepard is right. The Alliance isn't taking the situation seriously, and she still thinks that Cerberus is working with the Collectors, which is some real 4D chess shit. That battle was pretty loud. She must have heard it.
Didn't work!
Actually, I should give her some credit because there's a kernel of a grain of truth here, though in a way that doesn't reflect well on her because she doesn't realize she's getting played pretty badly. See, after rumors of Shepard's return started spreading, the Alliance sent her to Horizon to see if that might prompt Shepard to show up. And those rumors were spread by the Elusive Man, assuming the Alliance would do exactly what they did and give the Collectors a specific target given their interest in Shepard. For Shepard, this is pretty revealing of the state of the Alliance and what sorts of missions Ash gets assigned. But after that brief conversation, Ash is gone for the rest of the game. But the experience strengthens Shepard's resolve. Off the grid, without Alliance support, he assembles a team of old friends and new faces. They're elite warriors, mercenaries, thieves, assassins, fugitives, vigilantes, and to end the Collector threat, they will need to journey to uncharted reaches of the galaxy, face the craft that destroyed the original Normandy, fight through the Collector horde to learn the truth of their dark designs, reach the heart of their base to destroy the horrible secret contained within, foil the elusive man's ultimate intention, destroy the base, and return. Everyone, even the soundtrack, knows what this mission is, but Richter motherfucking Shepard accomplishes this with 0 casualties. It turns out this is much easier when none of the team goes off half-cocked and arms a nuclear warhead early. As Mass Effect 3 begins, Shepard has turned himself over to Alliance custody because of the association with Cerberus, and also some stuff that happened that would take too long to explain. He's been incarcerated and under strict guard for 6 months, but when the Reaper invasion arrives, he's reinstated and sent to rally the galaxy for help. And guess who happened to be on hand at the time? No sooner has the Normandy left Earth's atmosphere, Admiral Hackett contacts them with an issue at an Alliance base on Mars. When they arrive, they find Cerberus solidly in control of the base, looking for something. And right away, Ash is riding Richter's ass. Did you know about this? What if this was you? Are you still with them? Jesus fucking Christ, we are literally in the middle of gunning them down. Until we showed up, Cerberus had won. No one would stop them from getting the data they were after and escaping without the Alliance even being able to determine why they were there. What the hell kind of 8D chess are you worried about now, Ash? That just at the moment Shepard has foiled Cerberus' schemes, he will laugh maniacally and unfoil them with a snap of his fucking fingers? What exactly would the plan be here, Williams? At this point, Richter's pretty much had it with this shit, especially from this person.
You want to hate Cerberus? Fine. But I'm done explaining myself to you.
Ash gets critically injured on the mission and has to stay on the Citadel for treatment. As soon as she recovers, she receives an offer. Spectres are tasked with seeing to the Council's interests in the galaxy, preserving its peace and stability. They're expected to operate independently and with minimal oversight. It's not a great system. Shepard took his responsibilities to the galactic community as a whole pretty seriously, but it's a role that is pretty open to abuse. It comes with a lot of gray areas, but also things that only look like gray areas. For example, one of Shepard's first experiences took him to this little colony that had unwittingly been built close to this mind-controlling ancient entity. It's already controlling the colonists, forcing them to protect it. Shepard can use some limited gas grenades and, punches to knock the colonists out, but they are armed, so they do pose a risk. Going in guns blazing would be safer. Only kinda though. Shepard has top-of-the-line military-grade armor and weaponry, and these are a bunch of laborers with pistols? So is going in weapons-free safer, or merely more expedient? Ash is there, but if she were on her own, does Shepard think she'd recognize that difference? This rash, dumbass goon? Good Spectre material? What is the notoriously shifty Counselor Udina up to with this? Oh, simple. He wants somebody easy to manipulate. He's plotting with Cerberus to take over the Citadel and overthrow the Council, and when the violence starts, he gets Ash to escort he and the Council through the chaos toward what she doesn't realize is a Cerberus trap. It's only Shepard's timely intervention that stops her from unwittingly handing the Council over to Cerberus. But of course, all Udina has to say is no you for Ash to force a standoff. There's no small amount of irony in Ash once again putting Shepard in a situation where someone has to die for the sake of the galaxy. Fortunately, Richter's able to keep it from coming to that. With the Council secured, Udina and Cerberus' plots foiled, order restored, the day saved once again, Shepard heads off for the next mission. Shepard is well known for facing impossible choices, and here, he faces the most impossible of them all. What to do? Let this perpetual fuck-up, fresh off nearly getting the governing body of the galaxy killed, wander around with nearly unchecked power and authority? Or bring her aboard to ensure she doesn't get inflicted on some poor colony in danger, even though she's a walking avatar of all the worst moments in Shepard's life? Well, Richter Shepard is a hero.
Would you consider riding this out aboard the Normandy?
You're serious?
We need the best, Williams.
Okay, Commander. I'm in.
And how's he feel about this choice? So one day, Shepard happens to come onto the CIC mid-mission. He's under a lot of stress at the time. He's come to Tali's people, the Quarians, in the hopes of getting aid from them. But it turns out they decided this was a perfect time to touch off a war with the Geth over their mutual homeworld. Tali's very lovable. She's one of Shepard's first allies. She's this sweet kid who likes engines and has trouble sleeping because she's homesick. And most of the Quarians Shepard's encountered are young and in some kind of dire straits, so he has some positive feelings for them in their plight. But now that he's dealing with their leadership, they seem fucking crazy. In this battle, they've gone all in on a pair of 9s, and when Shepard arrives, the Geth have revealed a full house. He's already thrown this prick Admiral off his ship because instead of retreating as was agreed upon, the dude fired on a disabled Geth dreadnought while Shepard and his team were still aboard. The continued existence of two species are weighing on Shepard, and then Traynor tells him,
Commander, you might want to check in on Commander Williams down on the observation deck.
well, sure, she's under Shepard's command again. He wants to know if there are any issues on his ship. So let's go and see what... You fucking kidding me?
Ash?
Oh.
What have we here?
Oh, sir. I'm off duty. Your voice? Sir, not so loud. Please, thank you.
I've got the entirety of the Geth under Reaper control. That motherfucker Han Garrow clearly planning another assault. Crazy-ass Daro Zen thinking this is a great time to salvage for more of her mad scientist shit. Zal Koris, the one reasonable admiral who said this was all a bad idea, has been shot down and needs a rescue or the entire fleet will fall apart. Legion's telling me I can stop fighter attacks that are damaging civilian ships if I conjoin my mind with a massive interlinked alien machine intelligence. And now you just need to blow off some steam, huh? Things getting to you? It sure is rough standing in the observation deck, isn't it? You know what? Shepard is relieved he brought her aboard after this display. Imagine if Admiral Hackett came across one of the legendary members of Commander Richter Shepard's Normandy crew passed out on the goddamn floor. Jesus Christ! None of my Shepards care much for Ashley Williams. Not even the also xenophobic Werner Shepard. He ends up being too much of a faithless misanthrope to like anyone. But I love this story. They may not care much for her, but only Richter Shepard has this particular relationship with her. I think it's funny. Richter Shepard is out there moving galactic events single-handed and trying to hold back the death machines standing in for the force of mass extinction, but the cosmos always sees fit to make his life just a little bit harder with this penny that's so bad when it turns up, people usually get killed. It's a great joke that on top of the space ninjas and interplanetary terrorists and kilometer-tall robots, he always has to deal with this very human, puffed-up bumbler too, who's an ally that inevitably manages to make his life more difficult. There's always been a lot of discussion around Mass Effect, and a lot of criticism of what it tried to do and how. Like with anything, some of these are valid and interesting, some of them are not the best, and some of them are rather dumb. But one that I think is a bit too reductive is that we're only ever offered the illusion of choice, because things don't change. And on a base plot level, that is true. Every Shepard will end up in the same place plot-wise. If you list the order of events, there's very little change, in theory. In theory, Richter Shepard just decided which character to keep around. But in the story, it was a strategic obligation that ended up causing him years of frustration and annoyance. And that's not a story I'd have with Kaidan, or even that any other Shepard had with Ash. And it sure didn't feel like an illusion. After all, similar events can change radically depending on how you feel about them. We weren't empowered to alter Mass Effect's events, but we did get the chance to determine what the story was about. That's not the sexiest pitch, but I also think it's significant. That does require that you invest this character you're controlling with a bit more of an interior life than usual, but that also makes it part of the fun, and there you get to actually change what the story is. All my Shepards ended up in the same spot, but they didn't have the same story. Dina's was about unshakable decency and trust. Lissa's was about unintended consequences. Werner's was about how a man convinced only he is equipped to make the tough decisions fails when he needs to take something on faith. And Richter's was about showing we have a place in the universe. But to do that, he had to deal with Ashley Williams, Mass Effect's worst character. I wouldn't change a thing about her.
It's all gonna